let's get a sense from Mark D. Martin. He's CEO of Martin Consulting, and aviation safety and aero consulting is what the company does. But Mark, good to have you with us. From an operational standpoint, you tell us, how disruptive is this 10% cut in flights for an airline of Indigo's scale? Does it meaningfully impact the network's planning and the kind of revenues that the airline enjoys?
Hi, Vikram. Thank you so much for having me. I think the broader perspective of where we are today is that, everyone is construing this as a rap on the knuckles on Indigo. I don't think that's true. If Indigo is not in a position to operate additional capacity, then by all means that capacity should be taken away from Indigo and given on to other airlines, because at the end of the day, the consumer and the traveler should not suffer. So that's the first objective. The second objective is, if you're going to reduce their capacity by 10% by reducing their flights, which means their flights get transferred to Air India Express, Air India, Akasa, as well as SpiceJet, then we have to understand that Indigo's earnings are also going to be down by 10%. Profit margin in the airline business is wafer thin. So, we can typically anything between 1%, 5% and 10% is considered profitable in the airline business. Other businesses consider that as break even. So the catastrophic impact of this is we will see Indigo's financials and quarterly results completely smashed, and obviously market appeal and the stock price is going to plummet tomorrow morning. But I'm going to caveat that I am hoping that this is also a support to Indigo so that they recuperate, get themselves back on their feet, realign themselves, and are in a position to take on more flights. So given the momentary situation we're in, I think, a fantastic move by the Ministry of Civil Aviation of the government, very, very progressive. In terms of will Indigo have the ability to regain back those, the 10% in equivalent of flights, which is about 250 flights? We're not sure. It's a wait and watch. But the winner in this clearly is the traveler, because now he can book his flights. He's got other airline alternatives and options, and his travel is secure.
But is the availability of flight options enough during this peak season? That's going to be an important one. Yes, there will be that kind of impact on the airline, like you mentioned. But does the traveler stand to gain, or are the number of flights going to be insufficient to take the kind of loads that we have during this time of the year?
Very valid point, Vikram. I'll tell you, the only way we can solve this is if the current capacity of, let's say, an Air India's network, they would possibly be flying about 11 and a half, 12 hours a day. Now, if Air India needs to take on additional sectors, routes, and part of Indigo's network, then in that case, the fleet utilization of Air India will now go up. Because there is no magic wand, guys. You can't bring in an aircraft overnight and start flying it. It takes almost 3 to 6 months to induct an aircraft. So you're absolutely spot on. That will raise a certain amount of strain on the existing fleet utilization of Akasa, Air India Express, and SpiceJet. So if you're doing 12 hours, you'll start flying 15, 16 hours, which means more chances of breakdowns, lesser time for maintenance, closure, and more, unfortunately, MEL releases where you fly on minor defects. But I'm sure the ministry knows what it's doing. I'm sure airlines out there know what they're doing. India needs to win back its safety credibility. So, as I said, it is a wait and watch. But overall, I'd probably give this 60-40 in favor of the traveler and the industry.